All right, we're back. Another episode of Friday Night Lions coming at you. 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central Time. It's 5 o'clock here. I didn't work today, so I'm cracking a beer. 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock here. It's literally 5 o'clock right now on the dot here where I am in the Central Time Zone. So sit back, grab a drink, join the picks. I probably won't be able to see any comments just because ever since StreamYard made a change, it's just been a disaster. I can't see comments. I can't see viewers. So I'm just out there talking to the ethersphere. Last week, I posted all my picks on Twitter. I had my son's birthday party last Friday. Birthday last Friday, so I had to hang out with him. So I had to skip Friday Night Lights. But I did give all my picks on Twitter, tweeted by the Loaded Box page as well, retweeted. I went 2-3 overall last week. I'm 2-3 last week, 12-13 overall in college football. 2-3 in the NFL last week, 10-11 overall. I'm getting this all the way early. I have a work party tonight. I put it on my bets for tomorrow already because I know how I react to parties and drinking too much. I'm the worst person with hangovers in the entire world, and my wife loves it when I don't get up on a Saturday. But I will be laying around on the couch almost guaranteed all day watching college football. So it's like a lose-win. Like I'm hungover as shit, but at least I get to watch college football with a couple of naps in between. Only problem is tomorrow's slate stinks. So, but that hopefully means chaos. It typically means like there's chaos in there. So let's just hope for chaos. Let's get into. Let me get the banner going here. On the bottom line, you'll see on my picks. We're going to get into my Saturday picks. This is going to be pretty quick. Not a ton of analysis for a lot of these, but I want to get out and do some shit before this party. So I've got Cincinnati as my first play, -28 at Navy. Cincinnati's they've got to hang it on everybody at this point. Navy's a very bad football team. Cincinnati's literally covering against anybody. I bet Temple against them like 2 weeks ago. I don't know why I bet Temple against them. Just thinking they could stay within 30 points. Boy, that was gone after the second quarter. So I've learned my lesson. I never bet against Cincinnati. I tried to do it one time. It failed. I'm jumping back on the Cincinnati train. They just have to kill everybody. They want that playoff. They need that playoff. Cincinnati, -28. Don't fear. They'll win by 30-something. This one is I'm most excited, very uncomfortable. And on the Loaded Box podcast, I said I'm not comfortable unless I'm uncomfortable. And everything, like, if you're a college football fan, you see this Pittsburgh -3.5 versus Clemson, and you're just scared still. Like, Clemson is like, you just hear the name Clemson, and you're like, how are they dogs on the road at Pittsburgh? But Kenny Pickett, quarterback for Pittsburgh, he's got to be in the Heisman conversation. He's been unbelievably good. They're undefeated in the ACC as well as Wake Forest, which I'll talk about next. It's just Clemson isn't very good, so unless they show me otherwise, unless I can see otherwise out of them, I just got to assume that they are who we see, and that's a really just average to below average football team, and Pittsburgh's a lot better. Kenny Pickett is legit. I like Pittsburgh -3.5. Next game is automatic for me most of the time. I know they're coming off of a bye. Wake Forest -3 versus Army. Wake Forest is coming off of a bye last week. Army just had a really, really tight game against Wisconsin. Not as close as the ending score, but they made it interesting at the end. I just don't think they have the defense to hang with Wake Forest, and I think Wake Forest is like heads and shoulders above what Wisconsin is as a football team right now. That Wisconsin program's a complete mess right now. But Wake Forest is just an automatic for me. Again, like I said, coming off that bye, off of an overtime win against Syracuse 2 weeks back. Again, another undefeated ACC team in the running. So I like Wake Forest minus the -3. I don't know what's going on here. This one is another weird one. We got I like Iowa State at home versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's offense has been bad this year. You know, in the past, like Oklahoma State, you could count them to score a bunch of points. This year, they're relying on their defense, and their defense is really good, and they're winning a lot of games. And Iowa State's been a disappointment coming into this season. Everybody had them ranked top 10, top 15. Brock Purdy, Breece Hall, their running back, haven't been everything like they've like were expected to be. Haven't lived up to those expectations. I just feel like this is the game. Iowa State, it's Brocktober. Brees Hall is going to go off. -7's a weird line. It seems a little radish to me, so I am taking Iowa State. I'm not tasting that cheese with Oklahoma State, -7. And last play for the weekend, let's go with the top game of the weekend here. Notre Dame, USC at Notre Dame, the rivalry. Notre Dame is catching 7 points. I'm going to take the 7. USC has been disappointing. Keaton Slovis hasn't been great, but their star wide receiver, Drake London, is a monster. And I really just think Jack Cohen, Notre Dame, I think they're just kind of frauds. I really do. I don't think they should be favored by 7 against a lot of teams in college football. I think USC, just because of the rivalry, Keaton Slovis is experienced, Drake London's a monster. USC's defense is pretty solid. They can keep this game close, maybe even win it. I might money line it. I'm feeling like I might money line it. But right now I like USC plus the 7. It's beautiful. So that's Cincinnati -28, Pittsburgh -3.5, Wake Forest -3, Iowa State -7, and USC catching 7 at Notre Dame. Let's jump into our NFL picks. As I said, I went 2-3 last weekend. I am 10-11 overall on the season. And, I was wondering, my wife has sent me a bunch of weird-ass pictures. It's Halloween costumes, because I typically don't dress up for Halloween. I'm trying to throw together the most last-second Halloween costume. Like, literally, the party is in 2 hours. I could do Tiger Woods, I think, but the problem is I don't have any golf pants, and I don't want to walk out in the shorts, so it'd either be dress pants or... All right, that would be it. It would be dress pants. So I don't know. Or I have to man up and take shorts. I don't know. If you have any suggestions, like send me a DM, because I can look at my face, kind of darkish, look a little Mexican, but actually have black. Whatever. Just go ahead and throw any Halloween last minute suggestions for my Halloween party tonight. Otherwise, I'm just gonna dress up as me and then like put a name tag on that says like Dave, and then I'm just gonna be Dave. That's all I'm gonna be, because I don't like putting it into effort. All right, NFL slate. Let's get into it. Let's get this over with. Although I still have to finish this whole beer, but I'm in a shower, so shower beer. I like the Chiefs-Titans over 57. You just look at this game and it screams points at you. 57 doesn't scare me. It feels like a college game, whereas if it was like a Oklahoma versus Texas over-under, this feels similar to that, where it should be like 72. So since it's the NFL, it's always a little bit lower. Chiefs-Titans is Derrick Henry's been unstoppable. Chiefs literally are on pace to have the worst defense of just all time. They get scored on since last year, like 77% of the time in the red zone. Titans defense is equally bad, and the Chiefs can score. So it's like we have two offenses that can score. Obviously, Tractor Cito, Derrick Henry can run it down their throat, but he's going to bust off huge runs. A.J. Brown is back and playing and healthy-ish. I know he's throwing up Chipotle a lot. I'll take that number, 57. I think that over. I think we're going to hit near 80. I really think we're going to be in the 30s range, like 30 something to 40 something, 30. It's going to be each team will score more than 30 points in this game. That's what I truly believe. Game number 2, one of my favorite games of the weekend. Atlanta is my 2.5 point favorites at Miami. But don't forget, and this really confused me when I saw it, Miami played in England last week and somehow isn't rewarded with a bye this week, but the Jaguars are, and so were both teams that played the previous week were awarded with a bye. But somehow Miami has to come back after the trip to London, and then after a really bad loss and try to recover with all these Deshaun Watson rumors being traded to there. Tua's been average. Matt Ryan, Atlanta coming off of a bye. So not only is Miami not getting a bye coming from London, Atlanta's coming off of a bye. I don't know. I just don't see how Atlanta doesn't easily win this game. Miami's in shambles, coming off this European game. All these rumors around them while Atlanta just comes in off the bye, having 2 weeks to prepare for this team that who knows what kind of effort they're going to give. Love it, Atlanta -2.5. Third game, Bears plus 12.5 at the Buccaneers. Seems like a big disadvantage for the Bears, but this is what I'm expecting. Everybody's like, the Buccaneers have one of the best run defenses in the league, but their secondary is suspect at best. They're terrible. They're very bad. They just have injuries all over the place. What I expect, and I know Justin Fields hasn't looked great yet, but it feels like slowly he's getting after it. And people think the Bears are going to have to run the ball, where I think their run game, and I saw this when Wisconsin played Penn State, they realized they couldn't run the ball. So they just started throwing the ball quick outside and letting receivers make blocks, and the receivers were the extension of the run game. So everything's going to be outside. Everything's going to be on the corners, blah, blah, blah. And that's going to make those linebackers and whatever have to like change what they're doing. And I do think Buccaneers are going to win, but this is going to be closer than people think. Buccaneer fans will be worried in the fourth quarter. They'll pull it off, but I do like the Bears plus 12.5. That's a big number to cover. The Bears have a very good defense. Buccaneers have not played well against good defenses so far. They struggled against the Patriots. The Patriots think offensively they could not really score against them. I like the Bears to keep this close. They're a great defense, and Justin Fields is getting better and better and better every week now that he is finally starting. So I think they're going to make this tight. I think the Bears beat the Buccaneers last year too, or 2 years ago with that I think it was 2 years ago when Tom Brady thought it was no, it would have been last year. Had to have been last year because it was only second year. When Tom Brady thought it was fourth down when it was already fourth down and they had turned it over. So the Bears beat them last year. And now I believe they truly have a better quarterback, and he's mobile. Again, another game I love. My two favorite games, Atlanta -2.5, and this one, San Francisco -4 versus the Colts. San Francisco coming off a bye. Colts flying east to west. Jimmy Garoppolo's playing. He fits this offense right now. He's the better quarterback for this offense. Trey Lance will be better, but right now Jimmy G's the guy. Carson Wentz does this thing where he thinks he can just get out of all these sacks, and he just can't do that. Or like it was 2016 or whatever year it was they went to and won the Super Bowl. Obviously, he got injured before those playoffs, but that year he was escaping for everything, and he still has that mindset, even on 2 sprained ankles, which he couldn't do it when his ankles were healthy, that he could just escape everything like he's Russell Wilson or something and make a play. That's not going to work against San Francisco. San Francisco -4. That's a lock. Put that in now. Put that $1,000 on that one. That's I love that bet. Love it. And I want to give you guys one under because it's just my favorite thing to do is to give it one over, one under. I like my strategy was this week is like find a noon game that I think won't show up on Red Zone because most of us were watching Red Zone, I assume, if we're real big football fans. Find the game that won't show up on Red Zone because nobody's scoring in it. I saw Jets, Pats, and I saw 42.5, and I was like, when are they going to score? It's going to be all field goals. Pats can't really move the ball. Jets defense has not been terrible. They're not that bad, but the Pats offense isn't good, and the Patriots defense is really good, so I don't see how the Jets score. So this could be like a, 17-3 football game. Like it really could. I don't see the Jets scoring at all. And the Pats, they can't score more than 20 points alone anyways. So I don't see any way this goes over that 42.5. I love the under in this game. And those are my picks for this weekend. I'm celebrating Halloween. If you have a Halloween party, if you have Halloween costumes, again, seriously, I need it like the next 5 minutes. Costume ideas, send it over to me. Otherwise, I'm going like this. Well, I'm going to shower and dress up, but I'm going similar to what I look like right now. I want y'all to have a good winning weekend. Let's just win all our bets this weekend. I feel like we should just win all our bets. Yeah, I think we're going to win all our bets. Let's go 10-0. When I come back next week, you guys are going to pay me for picks because we just went 10-0. So next week, fast forward, so this is next week, I'm like, you're going to start paying me for my picks because we just went 10-0. Let's have a good weekend. Cheers.